Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai. Hold on your Lord, Adonai Yahweh, Bashim Shamal Shai, Bashim Kakadash, the honest apostle Elsgrid Millstone, peace I teach with Volak Shalom. And this article mentions that a woman that was 27 is punched in the face and knocked to the ground on NYC subway platform by deranged man in unprovoked attack. This is by Will Potter for DailyMail.com. Says this happened in military time, 1441. That should be like 2 o'clock, 2:41 p.m. And calling me up for some shot because we're going 44 at that time. And then it says the bullet points. Hannah Marie McAllister, 27, was sucker punched out of the blue on a Brooklyn subway platform while strolling aimlessly on her phone. An attacker sprinted up to her and punched her in the face. No arrests have been made following the incident, and McAllister says she is now focusing on healing. Shocking footage captured the moment a New York woman was punched in the face in an unprovoked attack on a Brooklyn subway platform. Hannah Marie McAllister, 27, was sucker punched out of the blue while walking in the Clinton Washington Avenue subway station on Sunday evening. The attacker, who has not been arrested, appeared to be in an intense back and forth with an unseen person moments before he unleashed on McAllister. He then sprinted at her while she looked aimlessly at her phone, delivering a flying punch to her face that sent her to the ground. According to official NYPD crime statistics, the Big Apple has seen a sharp spike in transit crime, which has risen over 44% since the same time last year. The assailant appeared to be in an intense back and forth with an unseen person moments before the attack. The man then turned on his heels and sprinted up to the woman as he prepared to unleash. Shocking footage then captured the moment he landed a vicious punch on the unsuspecting woman. A woman rushes to help you. The couple slow. The guy in the train just looking around. I'm glad you're okay, somebody replied. It says Hannah Marie McAllister said she is now focused on healing in a video after the attack where she was seen with a black eye. Police said the attacker fled the scene in an unknown direction and managed to escape the station. Posting TikTok after McAllister says she is just now focused on healing after the incident. And quote, I just wanted to say thank you very much genuinely for all the love, support, and genuine concern. She continued. I shared this so that people are aware and as safe as possible. I obviously wish things had gone differently, but I can't think about that now. So I'll just learn from my mistakes. She added thanks to the couple who rushed to her side for being so nice and so sweet, including helping her mom after suffering the surprising blow. Hannah also posted footage of the incident that she says was deleted from TikTok for graphic content violations. In the video, she reportedly remarked that the attack could have been potentially avoided if she hadn't been on her phone saying I should have been paying more attention, but people come out to help me. But it does show his face clearly, so I'm hoping they're able to catch him, she added. Let me see. It says, oh, this is something else. Yeah. So pretty much, I'll bring out some scriptures and Lord willing make this lesson edifying. So in Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 30 says, and when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, and they will seek thy life. For I have heard a voice as of a woman in travail, and the anguish of her that bringeth forth a first child, the voice of the daughter of Zion that bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hands, saying, Woe is me now, for my soul is weary because of murderers. Exactly. And mind you, that was an unprovoked attack, so he just randomly did it for no reason, and he was considered to be a deranged man. So basically, he had spirits on him, and spirits is hopping on people just to do stupid things like that, just for no apparent reason, to attack somebody that you don't even know from Adam, like attacking a whole stranger, basically. And that's something that's gonna happen to a lot of these women. You know, you'll have a lot of men targeting your ass in that day. How much more men that you fucked over, or played some psychological games with them and shit like that. You know, you women gonna have a lot to pay for when it comes to feminism. You have it in men that is attacking you for no reason. You know, just because you women are pretty much in power. And you see how she was all by herself. She didn't have no man with her. That made her a target. Had she had a man with her, she would have most likely not had been attacked. But you know, there's even crimes that happen to women that have a man with them. Because there was one incident where there was some man who uh, raped this 40-year-old woman, and she was pretty much held at gunpoint, and her husband was held at gunpoint as well. And he did it on a subway station, I think it was in Philadelphia. And this happened like around 4 o'clock in the morning. And that was just pretty much a real vile, you know, profane act. For him to really pull that off. But especially with a woman who's pretty much 40 years old. At that point, she's already used up and everything. But the fact of the matter is that the Most High is really intensifying the judgment, especially upon you women. And at the end of the day, these things that happen, they're judgment. And pretty much scripture stating that no one's innocent, to the judgment that takes place. And I'll bring out more precepts that go along with this. And then Ecclesiastes chapter 39, or the book of Sirach 39, verse 28, says, "There be spirits that are creative avengers, which in their fury they are sore strokes. In the time of their destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them." Exactly. And that right there was a spirit creative vengeance, Pretty much it was like a small, form of a judgment, honestly. Because it's not like she really got, mutilated. She just pretty much got sucker punched and pretty much like bruised up from that and probably knocked out. I think the article said on that. But other than that, she is recovering from that incident, and they're looking for the man that committed that crime. And honestly, that man is a fool because there was cameras there, but and it was in the afternoon that article was published, so most likely he had done it in daytime, that crime. But in the end of the day, it really goes to show you that you have to be very circumspect, because you got people out here that's committing all types of crimes, at all types of times, in all types of places, yeah. So people are just starting to become desperate just to do something stupid, and as these times get worse, like financially speaking, like in a sense of like inflation around you, as these times start getting like more depressing, they say that desperate times come to desperate measures, and that's people doing things that are pretty much petty to another, and they don't care about, let's say, how they execute their judgment upon another person. You know, people start to become, let's say, less compassionate. They start to become more immoral, things like that. It says in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." Exactly. And you see, one thing about being circumspect is you gotta look all around you. You know, you gotta be on guard, pretty much, like physically and even spiritually, right? And part of that is like not always being on your phone, like looking and scrolling through your phone. You always gotta be attentive. You know, that's pretty much how like a lot of crimes happen with robbery, like especially like phone snatching, because a lot of people just be on their phone so much that they're not even looking around them. You know, and when it's coming to you basically gaining that level of being let's say aware of what's going around you, you could avoid something like a sucker punch. I mean, obviously it already happens, but you know, just for like the next time I guess she goes out there. And the funny thing is that seeing the photo of a man, he looked like he pretty much was a Jake, and he did it to like the woman that looked like a Edomite. And I was thinking like, you know, like Esau is finally catching a portion of the curses, you know, if she's really an Edomite. The scriptures say like how these so-called white people, like which are Edomites, that they are not troubled like other men, but now they're starting to receive a portion of, you know, the curses now. You know, you got Esau out there getting you know, attacked, getting robbed now. You know, things like that. And now people been going through this shit for so long. So, um, so apparently this is how the man looked. That they said the sucker punched a 27-year-old woman in the face in the unprovoked attack on the Brooklyn subway. Also, apparently, it seems like it happened around 11:50 p.m. But you know, that other article was published in, you know, at 2:41. So, yeah, this happened at night. And even then, it's like some crimes happen in the you know, all types of times throughout the day. You know, especially in New York itself. And Isaiah 32 verse 5 says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine." Exactly. And women that this is going to affect, for the most part, are women mainly in the cities, because you see, one thing about the city life, the city life really caters to women, right? Because you got the restaurants, you got the nail salons, you got the beauty salons, you got pretty much the corner stores, the delis around. You got, you know, the supermarkets, you know, and then you have like fast food restaurants, upscale restaurants, you know, and the list goes on. Pretty much got like a lot of amusement parks. You got a lot of things for women to, like, you know, have fun, and pretty much to go out and basically they have so much thing to do out in the city that a lot of these women are not really even wanting to settle down and get married, because they just want to have fun. And you find that for most of the generation, these women, you know, mainly like Gen Z and even these women that are millennials, they're not really getting married as they at one point were before. So it's just like they're just doing all type of shit out there, pretty much having fun and thinking that they don't need a man. But hey, yo, time's coming where you're gonna need a man, cause that man was a Jake too, and he committed a crime on a so-called white person, which, you know, like I said, she could be an Edomite, but you know, we don't truly know because we can't really go off our looks. But at the same time, that right there shows you that the time that we coming into, you know, you women gonna have to get down and settle down and be humbled, you know. And when the Lord said, "Rise up, you women that are ease," that's talking about not only the Israelite woman, which mainly, you know, Isaiah pretty much pushed out, like, "Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech." He's, you know, ye careless daughters, talking about the nation of our woman. But when he said, "Rise up, ye women that are ease," he's just talking about all women in general, you know, because the feminism allowed them to be at ease, you know, and then the so-called white man giving these women not only liberation and, you know, and all that liberty, but he gave these women basically the freedom to pretty much go and be a whore, you know, to pretty much get abroad. Yeah. And then he also gave these women like a lot of benefits to where they don't need a man to support them, and even going as far as giving them protection, you know. Well, yeah, man, that protection, there's a flaw in that whole police protection that they have, because you see, the police wasn't there to save her ass, right when that attack happened. Exactly. Even though that man's face is on camera, and they pretty much have another article they posted recently, which is today, about how they need to find out you know, where that man is to arrest him and things of that nature. Like, you know, people don't care that their face is being put on the article or on the news. They just committing crime and doing whatever their heart pretty much desires and wickedness, you know. And that was a real evil spirit that hopped on that man to do that. See, that's why in the scriptures it's mentioned in Isaiah 13, and that's how a man is going to be more precious than fine gold, you know, in that time. Because imagine if this was already Jacob's trouble, you know, where you're going to have a lot of women that's going to be getting judgment happening to them left and right. And then you're going to have a lot of these men in this world that's going to pretty much execute that judgment, you know. And there ain't going to be no more 911, no more law enforcement. Pretty much it's going to be everyone fending for themselves. Just like in the Purge. So what's your woman going to do in that day? You're going to have to cleave unto a man. And not just any man, but a man of the Lord. And before you get the man of the Lord, the Most High might give you unto other men that is going to just die around you, left and right. You know, showing you that he not dealing with those men. And eventually you're going to have to run from one man to the next before you meet a man of the Lord. And now once you come across a man of the Lord, you're going to realize, like, that your ass going to have to get right. But with that, I hope I made less edifying. Let's give all glory, praise, honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashem, Shamalak, Yahweh, Shabbat, Shem, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles of the elders with millstone. Peace, I teach you, hope, elect. Yahweh, Shem, Shabbat, Bakashah, Shalak, Rayam, Adawayam, Wako, Ayam, Wa, Ababa, Shalom.